It's funny that the Nuggets were playing the Trailblazers because they were an inferno. The Nuggets at one point were shooting 81% from two. They don't need no stinking three-pointers. The winning streak rolls on. Christian Braun is an incredible finisher. Jaylen Pickett's a guy. Nothing but good news on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day, being with us Monday through Friday and being an everydayer. Whether you're joining us on youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets or on podcast version, we're glad to make you part of our community. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. That's what it's brought to you by. Brought to you by FanDuel. Of course. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Somebody in the comments was like, you don't need to give your whole resume on every show. Yeah, we do. Like, it's the whole thing. It's
actually required. Yeah.
I'm at the Action Network. You can catch me at thedenverdig.com, where I'm going to have a piece on some different things I've noticed about the Nuggets. I've been doing a lot of film work on them. So I'm going to have a piece up about all that, plus some insights from PJ Hall about his time with Grand Rapids. Talk to PJ tonight. A little bit. Ryan Blackburn, Mile High Sports. You can catch his post-game coverage after every single Nuggets games, columns throughout the week, and on the Pickaxe and Roll podcast. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day, being with us here on a Tuesday after the Nuggets get the win. That's right. They put up 146 points. 146 points. And allowed 117 versus the Portland Trailblazers, a team that Michael Malone noted coming in had been the number one defense over the last 10 games. And that is no longer the case as the Blazers ran into a buzzsaw with the Denver offense. Real quick, I do want to give a shout out to both Danny and Jesse that came up to me at the Nuggets game and said hi and said that they were listeners of the show and that they enjoyed the show. Appreciate you guys saying hi. Always come up and say hi at Nuggets games if you want to. You don't have to. I'm not going to be like, how dare you not come up to us? But it's always cool to meet folks that listen to the show just to know that you're out there. So I appreciate Danny and Jesse hanging out with us. All right. So I'll ask you, Ryan, what was the most impressive part of this game to you? Was it Christian Braun's 22 points in the paint, which is a career high by 6 over his previous career high?
Wow.
It is not, by the way, not a season high for any Nugget. Joker had 32 points in the paint one time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But for a guard, it's got to be one of the highest in Nuggets history. Was it Jalen Pickett's performance, or was it, Joker going for 40 in 3 quarters? Joker with 40 points in 31 minutes, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and a block for a plus 22. What was the most impressive part about this game to you?
Let's start with Joker, actually. I want to spend a lot of the next segment on Jalen Pickett just because I think it's super, super valuable to give him his due. Joker was ridiculous tonight. The shot making that he had was unbelievable. 13 of 15 on twos, and it felt like he shot a higher percentage from 3. It only says he shot 2 of 7, Matt. It doesn't feel that way. He was hunting that shot and was doing a great job of it. And it looked like he had, initially in this game, it looked like he got bored, from just how great he was. It was just firing these passes and committed a couple of turnovers, doing these things. Sometimes I think even he gets bored with how great he is, because the shot making that he put together tonight was about as great as I've ever seen him do it. The deep corner 3-point shot, the turning floater over the top of Donovan Clingan right at the end of the first quarter buzzer, and everything that he put together in the third quarter, he had the Blazers in a torture rack. It was unbelievable to watch him. And it's something that I continuously take for granted. In the post-game presser, I always joke with Michael Malone now at the end of these pressers, because he walks off the podium and nobody has asked him a question about the guy who put up a 40-point game in 3 quarters or a 26-point triple-double in 3 quarters or whatever hell he does. He just is unbelievable, man. And it should never be taken for granted, despite the fact that he makes it happen every single night.
Vinny Benedetto from the Denver Gazette, who is a beat reporter and is very down the line and does his job. He even remarked today, he's like, what the hell are we watching? Like, he's got all these numbers and he doesn't even want to be here. And that's how it felt. Like, Joker was like pretty annoyed at various passes that went awry and like some foul calls. Ben Taylor was. So I'm the guy that's always like, you guys got to settle down. You're like, you lead the league in free throws, blah, blah, blah. Ben Taylor was clown show tonight. Clown show. Just complete clown show by Ben Taylor tonight. Lost complete control of his emotions, had to walk to the side to like try and like set. I will say that initially not giving Jamal the second tee was good restraint. And then Jamal knew what he was doing on the second one. Like, he chose to go ahead and chirp with Ben. I don't blame him for the second one.
Well, I just looking at it, it was so funny because he was on the free throw line and he makes the free throw, and then Banton turns, like he walks up behind him and starts talking to him, and Murray turns around and starts talking to him, and then they get teased. Like, they didn't even like do anything. They were just talking to each other while they were.
No, it was like 5 minutes. It was not 5 minutes. It was like 2 minutes of like, because he lands, he screams in camera's face, and then Banton's like, "Whoa, chill out." And then, but then on, Banton and him are just going.
Yeah, they're just talking, and like, look, I understand why the refs feel obligated to call a T and
we also
double
just
T
don't
in
know
that situation.
We don't know what they said.
It's just what happens, but it was moronic regardless. It shouldn't have gotten to that point.
The way that I thought Taylor let the game get out of control and let his emotions like ramp, like your job is to maintain control, not like ramp up the chaos. But regardless, Joker really was amazing. He was absolutely in control. It was funny. He missed his first one on Klingon. He felt like he got fouled. He probably was on a fadeaway. And like, that was the first one on Klingon. Klingon's like, he's a huge dude and he's a great shot blocker. He's gonna be an elite defensive player in this league when he learns how to not foul. But then after that, Joker figured him out in real time and started going around him. He hit him with the whirling dervish double spin. He hit him with like the looping around shot. Like, he hit so much stuff on him. It was Donovan Klingon's like, hey, by the way, you have to deal with this every year of your career as long as you're in the West. So,
and especially in the Northwest, it will be 4 times a year as opposed to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's something that Joker loves to do, and I think it's a respect thing. It's something when he sees a starting or just like a focal point center that is a rookie on the other side. It is his indoctrination to them. Welcome to the NBA. This is what I had to deal with when I was at your age.
Yeah, that's true. Jokic, 15 of 22 from the field, 8 dimes, 7 assists or 7 rebounds. He had 15, 4, 6 in the second half. That's a good night for most NBA players, and that was his second half tonight in a quarter.
He was underwhelming on the rebounds and the passing in the first half. It was like all he did was score 25. Like,
all he did was only scored 25. He finishes with 40 on 22. And that includes, by the way, 13 of 15 from 2-point range.
Just crazy. Like, that's ridiculous against this defense in particular.
And then it takes us to Christian Braun. So after the game, I really want to talk about this because I've been doing a lot. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of film work and stuff on this. And one of the things that really stands out is, I love doing clip work where you're just watching clips of stuff over and over and over again. And the reason I really like it is you catch up on, it's a lot easier to notice that when you're watching the same patterns over and over again, you pick up on little things. And one of the things that's really great about noticing with Christian is, and like, I want to tell kind of the full thing here. Last year, Christian really like scared the hell out of me every time that Christian jumped in the air. Like, Christian jumped in the air and was not confident of what he wanted to do. And this year, Christian knows exactly what he's doing. There's a play I'm going to single out where he actually misses the layup, but it's the decision that he makes and how quickly he gets to the spot without going too fast. Like, he just misses the layup just because he misses it. It's like a perfect execution. The angle that he takes on it, every single angle that Christian takes now on cuts, Christian continuously, I've asked him about it several times, and he keeps giving me the same answer, and it makes me insane. Which is that he's to Christian's ever loving credit. I said this about the kid the first time I talked to him when he was a rookie. I walked out of that. I walked into the press room, and I was like, that kid's going to play in this league 12 years because he is so professional in how he approaches everything that he does, including handling the media. Even now, he's having this phenomenal breakout season, and Christian's just like, it's really easy with Joker and Jamal. These guys are just feeding me great passes, and it's just, using my gifts that I can, but really it's all them. Like
it's not progression that he's making. It's not any of the additions that he's making to his game. It's not the confidence of playing next to those guys. It's just the passes, you know.
And AG did me a solid and actually was like, that's a product of all that hard work, man. Nobody works harder than Christian. Like he talked about how hard CB, but the work that CB puts in to be great. And Christian tonight, 22 points in the paint, 12 of 14 from the field, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. I just looked this up, Ryan. Amongst guards, Christian Braun is averaging the 13th most points in the paint per game. He's behind LaMelo Ball, Scotty Barnes, Luka, Jalen Williams, Ja Morant. The player right behind him is Amen Thompson, and then Norman Powell. That's how many points in the paint he's averaging this season.
And he's been mostly the fourth and fifth option for the team the entire time, just like kind of taking what's given to him. But he's going and getting those things. He
leads all guards in fast break points per game.
Yeah,
all guards. That's ridiculous.
All players at this point.
It is phenomenal how good his finishing is. And somebody told me tonight with the Nuggets that one of the things is that Christian's not trying to jump out of the gym on every single play, right? He's not like loading up and using. And I kind of asked him about using it. And he's like, yeah, there's a little bit of that about, understanding how to use my athleticism. And that was as much as he gave me. But I mean, just a phenomenal game by him. On the other side, there's more heroes to talk about in this one, including Jalen Pickett, who looks like a rotation player, Zeke Naji, who looks like a rotation player, and Julian Strawther, who continues to have really good offensive games. We'll talk about all those and more, as well as the defense on the other side here on Locked On Nuggets. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started. There's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether you're backing your team for a late-game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three, you'll never feel like you missed your chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. We're also brought to you today by... I've got the wrong ad up. That's not fun for me as I pull up the other read here. All right, so Skims, we've been talking about Skims, and they've got all these different great pairs of underwear that you can get. You can upgrade your underwear game immediately, and that includes the stretch brief. In high school, you might be a boxers person, but in college, maybe you switch to boxer briefs. But until now, you're never going to have been really a briefs guy before. But once you try the Skim Stretch Brief, you're not going to want to go back. They're sleek, lightweight, and super comfortable. It almost feels like you're wearing nothing at all, but still fully secure where it matters most. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com and Skim stores. Let them know that we sent you. After you place your order, just select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for the perfect gift for your Valentine or for yourself, Skims just launched their best Valentine shop ever. Available in sizes for women, men, kids, and even pets. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com and Skim stores. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets.
I need to see the Skims for pets.
Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. Daniel asked if we're starting to believe. Look, I just want to celebrate like a really great game by an awesome team tonight. This game has nothing to do with their chances of winning the title. Nothing. This was like, and I will say though, I will say this. Usually I'm like, well, look at who they were playing or look at where this team is at. Like, it's always a reflection of the other team for me because I have like this, I try to keep a perspective on the league as well. Like tonight was just like, no, the Nuggets were just carving them. They just played phenomenal. The passes were crisp. The passes were clean. They were locked in. They were in sync. They were popping the ball. They were ahead of the defense. They were, Christian said after the game, he's like, the defense isn't where we want it to be. And tonight it was fine. Like, the defense was fine. But the offense really was just that awesome. And in a regular season environment in front of the home crowd, I thought it was just like a really great performance. They absolutely just sliced that team to ribbons.
Yeah. Vibe fun. Like this is one of those things that you like, especially just right before the All-Star break, you're looking to give teams a show. You're looking to give fans a show. You're looking to have some fun in these moments because everybody's dragging at this point. You never know what kind of health you're going to get and kind of actual performance you're going to get in these situations. And so I didn't know like how Denver was going to approach this game. I thought they would be pretty good, but you never know. And so it's nice to see them. And I said this after the Phoenix win, they're just playing professional basketball right now. And they're taking care of business. I think it's been really impressive to watch.
They play with a lot, like the other Nuggets, except Nikola, play with a lot of joy tonight. Like
Yeah.
they played with a lot of joy. Nikola was just like doing his thing. He was just like another night at the office.
Guess I'll step back in this deep corner three. All right, Here we go.
I don't. So Vinny asked him, he was like, "Do you practice that shot?" And he's like, "I don't practice, brother."
He is tired.
It was just really funny the way he said it. The other thing I think is just, he has this ability to hit these kind of shots, and sometimes they're going to go in, sometimes they're not. And he has just like he's hit so many ridiculous ones this year. This has been a special year for him shooting. This has been the most incredible season of Nikola's career shooting. He's a 3-time MVP, and I'm saying that, which is just stupid.
And we don't know what his game is going to continue to do. It just seems to me like as he becomes less physically like dominant throughout his career, like he's going to be one of those guys that will continue to shoot at a high level, but you just never know. You never know. So take it while you can get it. This is the peak of Nikola Jokic that we are seeing. There's no way, Matt. There's no way he gets better than this. There's no way. I don't see any way that Nikola Jokic gets better than where he is right now.
That's a great transition. I've been talking a lot about how much I like Julian Strawther's game. Like I am in on Julian Strawther. I think he is a 3-level. He's a 3-level scorer. His reads are better than you think. Like Julian Strawther is a certified NBA scoring guard. Like he is there. He is good enough. I was talking to Ryan about it, and Ryan was like, "You know what it is? Like he just doesn't make any layups. Like there's nothing at the rim. It's all floaters. That's all he's trying to get to." And then Julian proceeded to make 6 layups in a row.
It was horrible. It was actually like despicably painful for me. Because it is just what I do as the Jinx god over here, just saying everything, and it's just exactly the opposite. But no, it was a great game from him, and this is one of those ones where, like, look, you get some of the runouts, of course. You do everything because it's absolutely like I don't know, like you never know how guys are going to evolve, and he might just evolve like you're talking about, and might be a guy that you can consistently trust. Not just on the floater, not just from the 3, but driving all the way to the lane as well when he sees it open up. So credit to him. He continues to work on his game. The mid-range, like you said, 3-level. Are you counting floater as a mid-range shot in this case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you can hit it from 10, because he can hit it from 10.
Yeah. I still think that there are going to be, and like working with Joker, it's a little bit different because it's just a different like level that you're going to of attention that you're going to get from a defender, especially in the drop coverage when they're facing Joker. I still want to see him get the mid-range pull-up instead of just the floater. If he can add the mid-range pull-up to his game, he's going to be unguardable. Like I really do think that from an offensive perspective, he'll have everything in his bag at that point, and he's already very close. It's been cool to see him progress because you are right, he has gotten better this year, and that's a great sign.
I mean, look, I'll just tell you, I got clips of him hitting, like when he goes to his step back. I like it because Julian doesn't waste his time with a mid-range shot. Ryan, he takes the 3 that Jamal never does.
I don't want him to dilly-dally and just spend all of his time in the mid-range. That's not what I'm trying to say.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't bother with it. Like, he just doesn't, like, he's got 22 corner 3s, 14 right corner 3s, and 18 mid-range shots. So he's got 32 corner 3s to 18 mid-range.
Yeah, to me, what I'm mostly seeing from him in these circumstances is when teams run him off the 3-point line, he will drive and then get them on the hip and then shoot the floater while they're kind of next to him. And if you've got a guy that's contesting you all the time, then it's just a lower percentage shot. Like it's a 40% shot.
I have a great stat for you.
Okay.
Julian Strawther has a higher points per possession mark in the half court than Jamal Murray or Russell Westbrook.
That is a great stat. That is a great stat. And where
he's not better,
right now, you never know where it can go from here. This is a great year too for him. Like I'm very impressed with what he is at and where he can continue to go. I think we've talked about whether this plan was good from Calvin Booth, and there's another guy that we should talk about, of course, in that plan. Plan looking pretty decent right now.
Let's talk about him. So Jaylen Pickett goes for 14 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. He had 4 in the first half, 5 in the second half in terms of dimes, 6 of 10 from the field, including he was 5 of 6 from 2-point range, including one where he dribbled in a complete circle in the lane.
It was awesome. That was so cool.
And made the layup. That was a really good move. I'm sure that everyone listening to this is already, like, not everyone, but most people have already listened to DMVR. So I'm sure that Adam is just like,
he's like had to fan himself at this
just, like, leading a parade. He's got like the big top hat and he's just like doing the whole thing. Yeah, and he should, because like the guy and look, don't let him tell you that he didn't doubt, but Jalen's turned it around and
super cool.
You know, Malone was upfront about it post game. He was like, yeah, like he didn't have a good summer league, but he's done the work. This to me is like such a big part of it that no one understands. I feel like fans don't. Because when you only watch we only get to watch the games. I'm not saying we only get to watch the games. That's all we get to see. And so fans are like, there can't be anything else. There's no other basketball. And it's like, the coaches evaluate you on how you work. Are you paying attention to the scouting report? Are you paying attention? And when you're doing shoot around, when you're scrimmaging at shoot around, are you actually like carrying through on the things that they want you to work on? Have you done the work with your player development? How are you doing in the weight room? Like, it's all of the other stuff. And if you do it, then Malone rewards you. Like, this has been the thing, is like, if you put in the work, he's not resistant to playing young guys. He's resistant to playing young guys before they do the work, before they get it. And it's not just about like whether you show up or not. It's about the approach that you take and whether it lives up to the standard. And you can argue whether or not those are accurate things or not, or what the team needs or whatever.
Or if the standard is too high.
Or if the standard is too high.
Yeah.
But it's just really cool to see Pickett taking advantage of it and having these types of games. He made some and all the stuff that was on the scouting report about him coming out of college in terms of his ability to make high IQ reads. He made passes in baseline in tight situations. That's the thing that impresses me most about Pickett, is that he makes passes in tight spaces that a lot of guys cannot make.
Robert's also right here. Pickett's defense was really good. And that's the thing that you notice, where you see the smart guys and you see the players that have a lot of experience and where they just know when they can pick and choose their spots on the defensive end and what other guys are going to try to do. And Pickett knew that tonight. And like having somebody that can do that, somebody that wasn't even like, he hadn't been getting this experience all the time. So it would be a perfect excuse to not have great KYP, know your personnel. But he does have that. And I am so impressed with him, Matt, and just somebody who can, by his own admission, like he had a bad summer league. He worked with, like he had a bad year by his own admission, and summer league did not go the way that they wanted to for him. He worked with Mike Pemberthy, who's the Nuggets shooting coach, and tried to get his elbow tucked in a little bit more, and it's helping him on his jumper. He's gotten a lot more confident with his jumper. But that's the word. It's the confidence. It's not necessarily about anything mechanical. It's not necessarily about how you see the floor. It's about being willing and able to believe that you're going to execute what the team is asking you to do. And he just has that. And it was cool to hear him talk about that, and cool to hear him talk about the process that he went through. Jamal Murray was actually a very positive influence on him in terms of working through some of those struggles while he was out and just not in the rotation. So apparently, like, Denver's got some good vets. They've got a good locker room. They have guys that care about each other. And it very clearly has manifested in this, because everybody, to a man, was extremely happy for Jaylen Pickett on that bench.
And at the beginning of the year, we were pretty stressed out because it was like, look, if Russ gets hurt, if Jamal gets hurt, they got one point guard. And then Christian's bringing up the ball, and you do not want that. And so Pickett being able to be viable and playable is really good. Another good Zeke Najee game, 4 of 5 from the field, 11 points, 5 boards for Zeke. The rebounding is really big.
Yeah.
Joker talked about that. Like Joker actually specifically mentioned the rebounding. And so like Zeke did very good work, and he played more 4. He played next to Nikola tonight, played next to DJ some, and it was like another good night from Zeke Najee.
Zeke was great, and he continues to take advantage of this moment as well. I turned to Vinny during this game, and you probably heard it as well. And I was like, am I going to have to apologize to Zeke Najee? Am I going to have to apologize to Jaylen Pickett for like takes that I've had on this show and on my various shows and platforms? Because those guys were so far out of the eye for this Nuggets team and for what we were expecting.
So my only thing there is the season's just long, and you get different opportunities.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's very easy, I think, to buy into only the young guys. But, like, this is why, like, when I said earlier tonight, and, like, Ryan laughed at me.
I did laugh at you.
I was like, I think Dario Saric could still have a moment. I still think he can have a time. What's different? Because Jalen Pickett looked worse than Dario Saric going into the year.
I mean,
yeah,
the first 5 games of Dario's season were about as bad from a center as I could possibly ask for. That's
Jalen was a wreck in summer league, sir.
I understand that. Like, believe me, you're right that like these moments are long. Like the season is long, moments come and go, and you just never know what's actually going to happen. And to me, this is about appreciating it while it's here, because Dr. Van Nostrand in the comments asked us, do you guys think Pickett or Zeke will get playoff minutes? My answer is no, of course not. I do not think that those guys are in line for anything. Now, if Peyton Watson has some injury issues and he's not super healthy, then you might decide, hey, we need a body in the front court. And like Zeke Najee might be the front court body that they need.
If anybody gets hurt, like those guys were the next, because there's nobody else.
The other thing is Aaron. Aaron, we don't know what his health is going to look like going forward. We hope that it's going to get better, especially with the All-Star break coming up. But
I'm gonna continue to say this. Aaron is not like Aaron played. I mean, Aaron had 7 dimes tonight. He had 9 points on 3 of 5 shooting. He was a plus 19. I will continue to tell people to be very, very. If you appreciate what Aaron Gordon has brought to this franchise, give Aaron some rope this season. There's a lot going on with him on and off the court.
Yeah.
This is and like, look, I'm not a member of the training staff, but like when I see Aaron in the locker room, he looks like a guy that's got miles on him. He just looks banged up. And it's very evident. And that's on top of everything else that has gone on, really. And it's not just what happened last summer. There's other stuff. Like, just give Aaron Gordon a little bit of grace, I think, right now. And again, he's played like, this is what I love about Aaron Gordon, is it's like, I say that, and Aaron Gordon played well tonight. Like, Aaron Gordon's still pretty good pretty much every night.
What do you think of the rotation tonight, where going into the second quarter, they basically played the other 4 starters outside of Nikola with DeAndre Jordan, and they actually allowed Aaron, to run some point forward, and that's one of the reasons why he got so many assists.
I like this. I like it a lot. Yeah. I think I don't know, the other starters don't need Joker.
Yeah.
Jamal got paid, Aaron got paid. MPJ's a question for another day. MPJ out tonight with a hamstring, by the way. Somebody asked me if I thought it was serious, and I said, no, I don't think so. And then I did couch it with, it's the Nuggets, so they could have amputated his leg and they wouldn't tell us.
He would still be questionable.
But he used to be listed as questionable day to day. But yeah, so I would just say that, like, I like that rotation a lot. I think that it's, and again, DJ just continues to give them. I'm not like DJ's not like a world beater. I see all the like. There's still problems. It's like but it's also he's a bench player. That's what you're going to see around the league with most teams. Is like, okay, yeah. I mean, this is why it's the bench minutes, and that's fine. As it's just not an apocalypse this year, and that's been really positive over the last month and a half.
If there has been any singular development that has helped the Nuggets stabilize their season, it is not anything to do with the starters. Yes, Jamal has come around a little bit. Mike has been steady. Yes, they got back Aaron Gordon. Yes, Russell Westbrook had a moment for them during like January especially. It is the fact that the non-Jokic minutes are not as bad as they used to be. And DeAndre Jordan plays a massive, massive role with that. The team understands how to play around him, and he understands how to impact them positively too. And they're just reading each other really well. The finger roll layup lob that Aaron had to DJ was super cool. And like he also kind of pitched a lob out to him at the beginning of the second quarter. It was awesome to watch. Like those guys have some chemistry too. So it's probably not going to work in the playoffs with DJ, but that's not why he's here. He's here to be a great veteran presence and to connect the team. And he's also done more than that on the court than people were expecting.
Any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
7-game win streak. I told people that if they got to 40 wins before 20 losses, that I would shave an eyebrow slit into my like on pickaxe and roll live if they were to do that. That is still on the table. And the more that they win, the more scared that I get because they're playing great basketball right now. And if that's the motivation that they need, Matt, they just want to see me walking around with an eyebrow slit at Ball Arena, then I understand. I do too.
You need 5 more wins in a row. They play the Blazers, they play the Hornets, and then the schedule gets tough. So we'll see what happens and whether or not that will be something where we will put that all over the internet if that happens. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys have yourselves a great day. Swipe will be with you later in the day to give you his thoughts on where the team is at. Then Wednesday morning, you'll have No Jinx. Ryan and I will talk about whatever else is going on in Nuggets land as well as the other stuff around the league. And we're rolling on through the week. I hope you guys have yourselves a great Tuesday. We'll see you guys again next time. Thanks for joining us on Locked On Nuggets.